In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to use the Popup, PopupForm and the AjaxForm helpers, and also the RenderView controller extension. So for the Popup there is the Popup action link helper, Popup action link. We're gonna give a link text of open and the content high, also position top and height 100. Another option is to use the URL helper, and I'm going to use it inside the HTML button tag. Let's use on click content hello, and let's put the text of the button click me. Okay, now let's run this. So let's open the pop-up. So as you can see, opening one pop-up closes the other one. This is because they have the same name. So let's specify a different name. Name P1. Save and refresh. So now these pop-ups are independent. They have different names. Opening one will not close the other one. Besides specifying static content, we can also specify the URL to an action from where the content is going to be retrieved via Ajax. So let's first create an action from where we are going to retrieve our content. Say hello, add a view. Let's make sure it doesn't use a master page. And say hello, this content was returned via Ajax. Okay, and here delete content and instead specify URL. URL action say hello. Save, build and refresh. Now if you click here, this content was returned via Ajax. The pop-up form is used to post form via Ajax, and in order to demonstrate how it works, I'm going to create a little guest book here. So let's create our model message, and let's create a list. I'm going to create a static list of messages. Let's add a few default messages. New message. Well, let's return our model and let's use it. Let's make our view strongly type to enumerable of message, and I'm going to use an unordered list. So list item user said text. Save and build, and let's see our list. So the list is here. Let's use our pop-up form. We're going to create a create action, actually two actions, one for get and one for post. So this is the get action and this is the post action. When the model state is invalid, like if user or text is null or empty, the model state will be invalid, so we're just going to return the view with the message model as it was. But if it's valid, we'll add a new message and return an empty JSON object. So now let's create the view. So this is going to be our form, just a label, editors and the validation messages. We don't need a submit button because the pop-up form is going to have one. Let's add a create button. And click pop-up form action and the URL action create. Okay, save, build, and let's see how it works. So we get our pop-up. This is the submit button and cancel button. Okay. As you can see, the server validation works. Let's try and add something. Okay, if you refresh the page, so as you can see, the item was added. There's an option refresh on success. So now let's see. So basically the page is refreshed automatically after the success. Another thing that we can do is assign a JavaScript success function to the pop-up form. So I'm going to delete this refresh and success and do that sf. Let's create it. SF. This function will receive as a parameter the JSON object that was returned by the post function. So I'm going to return something like content equals, I'm going to do a string format, 0 set 1 message user message text. Okay, and we'll get this object, we'll get it here. So let's put here an ID list and use it here. List append all.content. So basically when the post action will return a JSON, this will be considered a success, and the pop-up will close and this function will be executed, and the JSON that was sent will be sent here. So we'll have the content. Let's save, build and refresh here. Now let's try it. As you can see, now it's the success JavaScript function is executed. And now we're going to create the same create functionality but using the AjaxForm. So first I'm going to copy these two actions and create another one. I'm gonna name it create2, and also I'm going to copy the view and rename it to create2, and inside the view I'll remove the form, because this view will be inside the form that I'll put on the index view. So let's write the form and we are going to give a class to this form. Let's call it my. Okay, and inside the form I'm just going to render the create2 action. So create2. And now let's use the AjaxForm helper. This will make the forms with the class my to be submitted via Ajax. Fill form and content set to true will make it refill its content whenever the response from the server is going to be a string, not a JSON. And let's also use a success function, and the success function is going to be the same, just like the one from the pop-up form. Okay, let's save, build, and let's see how it works. We forgot to add the submit button. Let's add it. Okay, save, refresh. Okay, hi. So it works. Let's see the server validation. Works as well. Let's put here a line break. Okay, and now we are going to add the unobtrusive client-side validation. So let's include the JavaScript files. First, let's make sure we have it enabled in web config. So it's enabled. Now in layout, we have to add the jQuery validate script and the jQuery validate unobtrusive. I'm going to copy them from the MVC demo, awesome demo, and unobtrusive. Okay. And also because the unobtrusive parsers is called undocument ready, the forms that come via Ajax will not be parsed. So we need another thing, which is this line. This registers whenever an Ajax request completes. The unobtrusive validator will parse the document. So we also need this thing. So let's make the document ready. Okay, so now everything is going to work. Another thing that is needed is this line, which tells the jQuery validate to consider the hidden inputs. Because by default in version 1.9 the hidden inputs are not validated. So let's save and let's see how it works. So the client-side validation works. As you can see, you can look in the Firebug. Whenever we click submit, no Ajax request is submitted. So, okay, now it works. And one more thing, as you can see, we used here a basic string creation in order to create some HTML. And this is okay for a small amount of HTML, but when we have some complex thing, then it's gonna be a bit hard. So what we can do is we're going to create a view and render it here. So let's create a view item. I'll just copy this one and rename it. We're gonna give it a model. The model will be the message. Model message. Okay. And here we do the same thing that we did using the string format. User set model.text. And here, instead of using string format, we are going to render that view using the RenderView controller extension. This RenderView. We need to import awesome. Okay. The view name item. And let's give it a model, which is the message. And let's do the same thing for create 2. Okay. Also, it's important to know that if we have here something like view data and okay, like this view data is going to be available in the item view when we render it using RenderView. So this might be useful sometime. Okay, let's save build and see how it works. Okay, so let's try and add something. So it works the same. We can have a very complex view and it's going to be rendered and submitted via Ajax in here. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching and goodbye.